Set the screen. 1, 2. Welcome. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. I'm Ken Dizzle, the Black British Cyclist, and welcome to Live at 5 with the Black British Cyclists. We are riding Zwift, so welcome if it's your first time here. I'll get us started in just a second. Let's check the essential equipment before we get started. So I have a bike. My bike is attached to a Turbotrainer. I've got a couple of cameras set up. I've got a front view camera. Hello. Side view camera. Hi there. Multiple screens. Music playing in the background. Viewers already online. The Zwift screen is ready. The only thing we got to do is talk about what's actually happening on today's ride and then select a ride. So it's getting a bit hot in here. Let's turn on one of these fans. We are here. I love Mondays. Live at 5 we get started. So this is an opportunity to watch, see what's going on with this online Zwift thing. If you want to ask any questions, you can learn all about how to get started online cycling, anything fitness. Basically, I'll just share my fitness journey, but also it's educational, you know, it's informative. I'm all about creating that positivity when it comes to cycling. Doesn't matter whether you've not been on a bike for years or you're a seasoned vet. We can all learn from each other, but I like to bring just some encouragement and motivation alongside some funky tunes in the background. A little bit of chats and banter. We talk about anything you want really, as long as it's cycling and fitness related. Keep it nice and positive. So, should we look and see what we're going to get started? So on today's agenda, we are literally going to talk about the Zwift screen as usual. We're going to have a look at what's coming up for the month ahead of Zwift, and I'm going to talk about some Zwift tech. There's a few things that I'm thinking of getting in terms of tech to make the Zwift ride a little bit more interesting, so stay tuned, we can talk about that. A little bit of a hint, it's the Zwift play buttons. I'm going to be doing chapters once this live stream finishes. We'll look at the Zwift menu screen, and all the way through I will give you little tips. I'll tell you about the power-ups as I execute the power-ups, give you some tips on the best time to use them in terms of strategies. But also I'll talk a little bit about what's going on with this Zwift screen. Should we get started? Should we get into it? So I'm usually here for about an hour on a Monday and Thursday. Usually I would have some structured workout set up. So I'm going to go into structured workouts as we go into the autumn winter season. It's when a lot of us switch from riding outdoors and we start riding indoors. So I'm going to get into some of these structured workouts as the weeks go on. So you can watch me. I'm going to say work with me. You can watch with me as I suffer through one of the workouts. I was half tempted to actually pick one of the workout of the week. It's only a short one. It's about 30 minutes. I don't know whether I've got the effort to pick up for that, but it's this one here. So we have a quick look. So when you first get onto the Zwift start screen, you'll introduce you with this thing here. So you've got some of the top suggestions that Zwift want to sort of like make your ride easier. So there's some instant rides that you can jump on. There's some workouts and whatnot. There's also the different challenges that they have. So we can see they've got these challenges here. So we've got the Zwift baseline, the Zwift camp baseline. So that's really focused on your training. We've also got route of the week, which I was thinking of doing actually. I've done it before, triple flat routes, but it's 34 kilometers. It's a decent sized ride. There's enough going on in terms of things to see to make it interesting. And that's what I think makes this online cycling with Zwift a lot better than if you was riding the bike, you know, an exercise bike facing your wall. It just makes it more interactive. There's different things to see. There's, you know, volcanoes, there's bears climbing trees and falling out as they try to steal the honey. There's dinosaurs, there's shipwrecks. So even if you're just drifting away, I mean, I've got screens all around me, so you know, and I'm in 4K. It just makes it more immersive, and for me, as I'm streaming, sometimes it feels like I'm not riding at all. So anything to keep the pedals turning, all positive. Right, I forgot where I was now. Yeah, so I might do this. It's a decent route to go around, nice and zone 2. If I don't do that, there's a climb of the week. I don't know whether I fancy doing a 1,000 meters. It's like going up Alpe d'Huez, or Alpe de Zwift. So it's 16.9 kilometers. It's literally like doing like the Alpe d'Huez. So I'll probably be on that for just over an hour, maybe an hour and a half. I've not done it in a while. Hour and 20 minutes maybe. To get to a sub hour it's kind of like the target that a lot of people work for. But am I up for that? Maybe next week. If you want to see me suffer, just pop something in the comments. Do you want to see me work light, or do you want to see me work hard? And then here's the workout of the week. As I say, there's lots of blue. You'll know whether it's a hard workout by the amount of red. You know, just like putting your hand in a bag of jelly babies. The darker the jelly babies that come out, you know, the better the flavour. So the more flavoursome the workout is, the darker the colours are. This isn't too bad actually if you look at it. So you click into it and you can see. So we've got a decent warm up, 3 minutes, 15 seconds. That's it. Should I just work out hard? If I work out hard, it means that I can't chat as much. Maybe I should start with a little bit of a pace partner. Okay, what I'm going to do, okay, sorted, I know what I'm going to do. So, we're going to start off with one of the pace partners. So let's jump onto the Volcano Flats. It's only 1.5 watts, so this is like a nice warm-up. We're riding here for about 5 or 10 minutes. Get ourselves warmed up. I'm just going to start the Garmin. Dual record. So we start here with the pace partners. So the pace partners give you a chance to just ride with a group of people. You don't have to worry too much about where you're riding, but you know that there's a robot pacer who's going to be riding at the advertised set pace, which is currently 1.5 watts per kilogram. Now, don't worry too much about what the watts per kilogram mean, because it's going to be different for each person. It's essentially just a calculation based on your weight and the effort that you're putting out. So obviously a lighter person will have, in terms of number figures, a higher watt per kilogram based on their power outfit than a heavier person. So as you can see, if you look just to the right of the screen, yeah, so you can see just down here, you can see my marker there, K Black Cyclist. You can see I'm doing 1.6 watts per kilogram. But if you look to the top left of the screen, you can see that means currently on this terrain and this gradient, that's about 115 watts that I'm putting out. So nice and leisurely, nicely chilled. Something to get the heart rate nicely warmed up, get the legs warmed up before we start off. Yeah, so if I was to have picked a ride with a robot pacer that was, say, 3 watts per kilogram, I'd potentially have to be working twice as hard as what I'm working now. Let me just put it up to 3 watts per kilogram. You can see in the top left of the screen, where you can see just where my name is. So here's just about 3. I'll be doing this pace about 250, 260 watts per kilogram, but I don't need to go that effort. So I'm just going to slow down. Give Bernie, the pace partner, a chance to catch up. And if you're wondering where Bernie is, there's a little yellow arrow just at this screen, just here. You can see the distance that he's behind me, so he's 29 meters behind me. If I ease off on my pedaling, that'll give him a chance to catch up. But I'm within that range, and just above me you can see there's like a yellow progress bar. So as long as I'm riding with the pace partners, the Robopacers in this group, I would accumulate that XP bonus accumulator. I mean, all like points on this app. So we talk a little bit more about screen, what's on the display. For anyone who's unfamiliar, well, think of this display as what you'd have in your cockpit of your car, you know, your dashboard. If you are on an exercise bike, it's a little screen you have in front of you. There's a lot of data, a lot of numbers. Don't let it put you off too much. You only need to focus on a few metrics. So starting from the top left, you can see the watts. That's the power. That's the power of my pedals that I'm pushing out. Below that, RPM is the cadence. So that's the rotations of my pedal. I'm wearing a heart rate monitor. I've actually got 2. I've got one on my wrist, but I've got a heart rate strap on my chest. You can see my heart rate is currently 117, so 118. So it's still warming up. Nice easy pace, nothing too taxing. Then below that you can see I've set it for displaying the total amount of calories burnt during this ride. So even with this 3.5 minutes, I've already burnt 26 calories. There you go. It's not bad, is it? Talking, working out, burning calories as well. And then the last little set of metrics in that little box on the top left is the watts per kilogram. You can see 1.5, and I am alongside the Robo-pacer. That's that yellow robot guy, kind of just above, just there. Right, move across to the middle of the screen. Now this is pretty much all of the sort of like trip data that you'd have. You can see my current speed, 22 kilometers per hour, distance travelled, 1.8 kilometers. 11m, that's the total amount of elevation, so that's the height that I've accumulated during this ride. A little bit of a hill coming up now. Elapsed time is 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Little bike with the 61, I'm currently level 61. Slowly climbing up the Zwift levels. And as you start off, obviously you'll start on level 1, or is it level 0? But the more you ride, the more you unlock levels, and the more levels you unlock, the more access to different bikes and different routes you get. So just keep riding. Won't worry about it too much, but there are different tips and tricks that you can use in order to level up faster. One of them is to go to your settings when you first get started and to set your distance to kilometers. Don't have it as miles, you will accumulate more XP set as kilometers. So that's the first thing. And then join special events. Certain events to give you a chance to earn double XP. As you complete different routes, you will get bonus XP. And within no time, you'll be up the levels, riding higher and higher, further and further. But the best thing is you're getting fit at the same time. So we all like virtual rewards, whether it's bike unlocks, jersey unlocks, upgrading to a different level. But just keep riding, just have some fun. If you are using Zwift for the first time and you just want to figure it out, don't get caught up about what should I ride, what route. Just pick one of the Robo-pacers. Don't pick anything that's going too fast, and just ride, just enjoy the ride. Try and stay with the group, do some practice. So, talking of which, there's a few little tips that you need when you are riding. Oh, and feel free to ask any questions if you need to. I do have dual streams, so the Twitch stream should be here as well somewhere. Twitch and YouTube. So there are a few basic or general tips that we have when we are riding Zwift, and one of them is it's easier, you have a better ride riding in a group. You'll ride faster, you burn less energy, you're just more efficient. So you can see how we're all bunched up in this group here. So we're all sharing in what's called the draft effect. So this is where you really want to ride. There's no point riding on your own. And in simple terms, as you're riding, you're going to be hitting the wind resistance, whether wind blowing towards you or just cutting through the air. And the more of you are that are grouped up, the more shielded you are from the wind. So you want to be like aerodynamic within the draft. So I'm just going to demonstrate now not being in the draft. I'm just going to ease off and try and fall off the back of this group. Now the good thing about the Zwift app is it gives you little cues, little warnings to help you stay on. But there might be too many people here. So as you start to fall off, you can see I'm falling behind Bernie. So it gives me a little warning to say catch up, I'm still within that range. So I know I need to speed up to catch him up on that. But what I want to do is show you how to do the draft onto another rider's back wheel. So it's like saying is often referred to as like, you know, grabbing a wheel, or yeah, grab a wheel. So I'm not in the draft now, so I'm getting all of this headwind. So what I want to do is just pick up my pace so I can try and catch up those riders. But I want to do it as efficiently or conservatively as possible. Now, a group of riders will travel faster than a solo rider. So don't let yourself fall too far off the back. Now, as I'm getting closer to this group, you can see as I get closer, when I need to ease off that effort and slot in. So I'm going to try and aim for the middle of the group, up to where Bernie is. I'm just going to up the gears, put some effort in. You can see my watts climbing. As I get closer, so I don't roll straight past, I'm going to slowly ease off, bring my pace down, and settle in to the group. Now, when you're not riding in such a big group, it does give you a slightly better indicator as you are getting closer. And here I am. I'm now back in the group, so I'm being shielded. So pedaling and riding here is going to be a lot easier than if I was just riding all out on my own. Whew. Just a little bit out of breath. So that's, I guess that's drafting 101, part 1. There's a few other tips that we can also do when we're riding Zwift, but I guess that's one of the most essential tips. If you are doing a group ride, no, ride with the group. Don't sit out on your own, it's a whole lot easier. Whew. It's getting hot. I guess that's the perfect time to talk about Zwift essential kit. So I spoke earlier about the essential thing to have to get started. Bike, obviously. Turbotrainer. I have other videos. Click that link there if you want to see my live talking about different types of Turbotrainers. So your Turbotrainer bike, a towel to mop away the perspiration, you know, the signs that you're working hard. And you also need at least one fan. I have 2 fans. Bit of a hill now. Fan in front, fan at the side. You don't have the natural cooling air and wind outside, just static. So invest in the best fan you can. Multiple, unless you have aircon. So we've got a question from the chat. Hello, Michael G. Just signed up. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. So yeah, so every person you can see on this screen here, apart from the robot, is another real person who's also riding their bike, possibly in a similar setup to what I have here. I'm Ken Diddle, the Blackberry Cyclist. Thanks for watching. Oh, what's happened to my